Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nate, the founder and New York chapter president of Sokudo Empire. We're here at the Bear Mountain annual car show here at Bear Mountain State Park. Parked up, me and the first lady. We're actually going to host this week's pod episode here at the show. So I told you guys early on, definitely going to be doing episodes at different places. So what better location than Bear Mountain Car Show? So here, the unique thing about the Bear Mountain Car Show is the mix and blend of old school and new school cars, and you get to see where generations collide. Now, are they a good mashup? One can say maybe, one can say no, but the reality is it's hard to deny the fact that you couldn't have one without the other. So because of that, at the end of the day, you can learn to appreciate the different builds. Now, at the end of the day, I've always been someone who's enjoyed old school cars and new school cars, supercars. I have an appreciation for all cars. I hope some of you do as well, but everyone has their own preferences. Now, there's always something about the classics that are just different and unique, and I can't deny what they have to offer. So with modern cars, you do get updates, you do get flashy new things like Bluetooth, you get better car features, and to each their own. There may be ways to update older cars so you can have some of those features in there, but everybody is entitled to their personal preferences. So now the weird part about both of these is just that it seems as if there's a hard line drawn in the sand where if you're into old school cars, you can't be into new school cars. Not only that, old school guys like going to Cars and Coffee. They don't like being out late and things of that nature. How can we look to find a fine line where both cultures can kind of appreciate one another? I think they both need one another, and it would be better for the car community if both old school and new school enthusiasts were able to successfully, be in both spaces. And I think, the Bear Mountain Car Cruise is one of those places where that successfully happens. You do get new school with old school. Now, do the people who come to the show enjoy that? That's one thing to be said. But the reality is, I'm one of the people who do enjoy the ability to be able to come here, take pictures of some classic cars, and take some pictures of some new school cars as well. So I hope you guys can find the time to, you know, take a minute, go out there and find some, old school cars. You might find yourself appreciating them for what they are worth. Because the reality is, the cars that we have now wouldn't be what they are if it wasn't for the cars that came before them. So that you just gotta, take that into consideration. So, what's your favorite car, new school or old school? Put it in the comments. Now, it's super nice out here. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's been raining the last couple of weeks, so it's nice to actually be outside around cars. Now, let me ask you guys something. When you are working on a build or modding your car, do you focus more so on form or function? Do you want the car to function as normal as possible, or do you care about what it looks like? I know there are guys out there who will mod a car to the point where it's super unreliable, and you got to ask yourself, what's the purpose? And again, everybody's entitled to their own preferences, their choices, and do what you like. I'm never going to be someone who tells someone not to do something just because that's corny. It's yours. You bought it. You paid for it. Mod it however you want. But there does raise a question of like, so why? Like the guys who are super static. Help me understand the reason why. Like I know you're going through tires at a an insane crazy amount. I know, driving on roads you can get stuck certain places. So is that part of the joy of having a car that's super slammed or super static? Like, is that part of it? Like, let me know if that's the thing you enjoy from doing that. I'm definitely someone who I don't like being inconvenienced, so I would never mod my car to the point where, oh man, I can't go here, I can't do that, or it's gonna have to be something where I got to worry about, am I gonna be able to get back home afterwards? So again, everybody likes different things. So if that's what makes you happy, by all means, enjoy the hell out of it. I don't know if you guys have seen the recent AI designs that have been going around. Like there's the one that's kind of been getting a lot of traction. It's a AI prompt where you take a picture of your car, you turn it into a model that's like sitting on your desk with like a design on a computer. Now, AI has kind of been blowing up lately. Now, how do you guys feel about like AI? Like I've tinkered with it a bit. I've used it here and there. Now, AI has been a huge topic in a lot of different places just because the ability that AI has to do so many different things, it puts some people at risk of losing their jobs. Now, graphic designers, I could say, are one of those people who may not be a fan of AI just because, back in the day before AI blew up, you would reach out to somebody and they would draw a picture of your car, all this other stuff, and you'd, pay them a couple bucks and go from there. But now you can go find a AI, tell it to do follow a couple of prompts, and you'll get kind of the same quality. So, what do you think the end all be all will be for AI in the car community? There's a lot of times where things run their course and they fade away. Is AI something that's going to be here a long time? Is AI something that's just going to be here for a couple of years and then won't be here anymore? Let me know what you guys think. Me personally, I feel like it will be around for a while, but I also feel like it won't be as mainstream as it is right now. Like right now, super mainstream. A lot of people use it. Chat GPT is going off. A lot of people put chat GPT prompts in for a lot of different things. And, it'll either, I don't think it will be super specific to the car community as much. I think it'll still be around, but I don't think, it'll be taking people's jobs in the car industry. I just don't think that's something that folks really got to worry about too much. The reality is, I, you know, there's something about working with a person that is unmatched sometimes, that no matter what programming is done, it can't match working with an actual person. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, the here in New York, the car season's kind of slowing down. It's been cold the last couple of weeks. The good thing is we've been able to make it through this season without a lot of major issues. Last few years there have been big takeover incidents. Luckily, this year there hasn't been any. I've mentioned it a few times before, where we do have, certain people that don't want to respect the car community and do things that are a little bit more on the rowdier side and cause problems for a lot of different people. Folks who host meets or host shows may lose the ability to do so because of takeover behavior. So it's not just harmless fun. There have been many incidents that have happened where people have been hurt and killed. So it you got to be responsible. So the good thing is, it does seem like it's kind of reached its peak around here, at least. Who knows how long it'll keep going? It's not something that is sustainable. You can't really make money off of it just because of the risk that comes with it. Sometimes guys usually flip their exposure from being known as a takeover person into, doing more tame things, that's because that's where the money is. The reality is, money in takeover stuff is super, super short lived. It's not something that you can do long term. So that's just the reality of it. So I think even the guys that were takeover guys, they eventually realized, like, hey, there's no real money in this. So that's why they try to go over to doing legitimate shows. There's way more money to be made in hosting a real show with rules and regulations. Some people don't want to follow rules, but the reality is life runs and works off of rules and regulations. Sometimes some go too far, sure, but there's a good majority of them that help keep things from going too far. And when things are you know, unchecked, that's where they end up going too far. And we've seen it kind of happen where, you push the limits of your car to the point where you can't control it, and you get into an accident, someone gets hurt, or someone worse, someone dies. And you never really want that to happen to anyone. You don't want to be doing things where the end goal is the loss of life. A lot of times people do the whole RIP, so sad, this person's gone, but be responsible. You never want to keep doing things where the definitive end goal is death. That's just not a way to live. So that kind of takes me to the next point, where mental health, your mental health is super, super important. In the car community, I've noticed, like, since, since being the president of my own chapter, I've noticed that there are a lot of people, specifically in the car community, that struggle with mental health. And it's, sometimes some of it is a lot deeper than surface stuff. Sometimes the decisions that people make are rooted in things that they've experienced or things that have happened to them. But, it's important to get help. Like, don't be afraid to get help. It doesn't make you any lesser of a person if you go get help. Making decisions that put yourself at risk or other people at risk are a bad decision. You can't keep doing that, because it'll be something that will end up hurting someone or yourself in the long run. There are a lot of different outlets out there for you to get help, and it's okay to get help. Like I said, if things aren't okay at home, a lot of times people have issues at home with mom and dad or other family members, and that's why they like going out late at night to car meets. That's fine. You're not doing anything wrong. But there are other people that kick it up a notch and start doing reckless behavior. So instead of just being like, oh, I'm out of the house, I'm not home with mom and dad, it's, oh, I'm gonna do 120 on the highway, or I'm gonna do, racing, all this other stuff without proper safety measures being taken. And it's not a good idea. Like, I can understand having things happen to you in life that are beyond your control, that are really, really hard to navigate, but you'll get through it. And as things that I've been through in life, people have, at the time they were like, oh, listen, it'll get better. Everything happens for a reason. You don't want to hear that shit in the moment. Like, I promise you, when someone says, oh, everything happens for a reason, when you're going through some shit, it's the worst thing that you can fucking hear, because you're like, then what's the reason? Tell me the reason. Help me understand why I'm going through this. I promise you that, most things get better with time. The thing that you may be facing right now, eventually it'll work itself out. And when it works itself out, you'll be out on the other side and things will be for the better. If you feel like it won't be for the better, by all means, go talk to somebody. I'll be placing a number here for you guys to use in the event you feel like things are to a point where you need someone to talk to. Get help, seek help. It's super important that you get the help that you need. Now, right now, I just got here. Kids are here. We're gonna go take in some of the cars here at the Bear Mountain Car Show. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.